All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And Tal, our good friend from Stakel, was in with a mixed bag of wines, but all these wines great. I don't know how we're going to tag this on YouTube to get them all equal, play here in the title. But some great stuff. Starting out with a wine from Aaron Jordan. This is his own label, the Failla. Anyways, one of those names that you just shake your head and scratch it and go, all right, is that not his family name? I don't know why you would call a wine that. Anyways, a little hard to pronounce, but this is, like I said, one of the great winemakers in Northern California. This wine's got a good amount of black raspberry spice, raspberry fruit, exotic spices, floral notes, really nice complexity on the nose. This cuvee is made from all purchased fruit, source fruit. And on the tongue, really smooth and velvety texture here with bright black raspberry fruit, zesty acidity, and a nice hint of a nice spice on the finish. This Pinot Noir is excellent, and it's $39. It's fairly priced here. 2012, a very good vintage for Pinot Noir. It looks like on the North Coast. The 2011 Pinot Noir from Germany. Polar opposite from this wine, the Weingut Meyer Nickel, and this wine is the Blue Slate from AHR, which is a region just north of the Mosel, and really mineral-driven style here, man. A Pinot with dark raspberry and cranberry fruit, a good hand of fresh earth, a dark black spice, and really intense bouquet. You really notice that earthiness in this wine that you got a little bit maybe in the Aaron Jordan wine, but nothing like this wine. Really concentrated, but elegant wine still. Dark spices, zesty cranberry fruit on the palate with a good bit of that earth nuance showing up from the nose on the finish with fine tannins. Excellent juice at $60. All right, and then on to Italy. So California, Germany, Italy. It's a whirlwind tour here with Tal and his bag of tricks here today. Avignonesi Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. Hey, that's a name that just rolls off your tongue. And one of the best values in DOCG in Tuscany. And this wine's made from 100% Brunello Gentile. You can blend here. You can add in other grape varietals, but these guys use the clone of Sangiovese that is found in Montepulciano, not to be mistaken for Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, which is totally different wine from the Marche. And this is a clone of Sangiovese. And this is the greatest producer in Montepulciano, or definitely one of them. This wine has got a lovely wild strawberry bouquet, tart cherry fruit, a host of fine herbs, that sage, a porcini mushroom, really complex bouquet, and a little tar and some light smoky notes coming out on the second day. This wine even more nuanced, and the sign of a great wine. Lovely concentration and richness on the palate with that fine herb and that earthy and spice note coming out on the finish, and really over-delivers this wine for $32. Similar quality to what you find in Brunello di Montalcino at half of the price. Excellent juice. All right, and then a really unique wine from the northern Piedmont, staying in Italy, the Proprietà Spirine Lessona, which this is the same family that owns Isola and Alina in Tuscany, and this wine's got a good amount of spice and exotic floral notes to the nose. Really nice red cherry liqueur-like fruits, and they also call the Nebbiolo Nebbiolo Spanna up in this part of the Piedmont. Very nuanced, some funky barnyard notes to the nose here. Really even coming out more pronounced on the second day. This wine big and nuanced on the tongue with layers of exotic spice, herbs, firm tannins, and a host of that minerality from the nose showing through the finish. That funky earthy note, really complex, excellent juice. It's $71, a little hefty on the price tag. 2008 classic vintage. And then on to France, the Loire Valley, Charles Jouget, Chinon, Claude de la Dioterie. Anyways, one of the first guys to start making single vineyard wines in this part of France, and he was an artist and sculptor, and had to come back home and take back over the family business, which is winemaking, and runs this estate like an artist would. Makes very unique wines. This wine, an exaggerated style of Chinon, really peppery nose, really intense, pretty floral notes, menthol, really complex bouquet, some berry fruit here also, but all the other things kind of taking over the nose. Dark plum and tart cherry fruit on the tongue with a good amount of that peppery spice, that nuance from the nose lingering through the finish. This is an intense wine with bright acidity and some tannins here at the end. This 2010, a classic vintage in the Loire. This wine needs a little bit of time, but excellent juice at $60 a bottle. All right, then on to one of the greatest value areas in the world, Washington State. Gordon Estate. They started this label, I think, in 1982. The family-owned, estate-grown winery here uses some American oak. You really notice it in the nose there. Really sweet oak, silver oak, that vanilla, that dill, showing through that dark cherry and currant berry fruit, sweet tobacco spice. Also, lots of ripe and juice currant and cherry fruit on the tongue. Thick with a nice hand of that oak spice showing through the finish. This wine still nice and balanced and fresh, and I think it'll last for another 5 or 7 years, but definitely a more immediate gratification style of wine here. Turnbull, one of the landmark properties of Oakville in Napa, and one of my favorite producers, all estate grown. This wine's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. They made no wine at all in 2011. I don't know if that's true, Tal. We'll have to look into that. They make a lot of different wines, but they may not have made this wine in 2011. It was a difficult year, and these guys just got a 100-point score for one of their single vineyard wines from Robert Parker Jr. So, the price on Turnbull's going to be going up. I'm telling you that right now. I don't know why my voice just went up when that happened, but the price is going to be going up. I'm telling you. $45, one of the best values in Napa Valley. Classic bouquet of cassis, currant berry fruit, toasty oak spice, a bit of an herbal kind of nuance to the nose, and espresso, tobacco spice there. Really nice complexity in this wine. Big and rich on the palate, but smooth and silky tannins, really ripe and round, juicy currant, cassis berry fruit. Really forward for 2010, which was a cooler vintage, but this wine always really drinkable. That herbal nuance and milk chocolate notes through the finish, along with sweet tobacco spice. Excellent juice, the 2010 Turnbull. All right, and then Triga. What's that? No, I didn't say what you thought I said. Triga is the name of the wine. It's Alicante, and it's 85% Monastrell, 15% Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is Jorge Ordonez's new wine. Clio, unfortunately, the folks went out on their own, and they, Alito and Clio, the wines that, he helped make famous, which happens to a lot of importers like Jorge. So what does he do to get back at these people for leaving him and starting their own import company? He finds a wine exactly like it to promote and make his own. Anyways, this wine is similar to that Clio in style. A host of dark berry fruit, blackberry, blueberry, huckleberry, very intense with notes of espresso, pretty violets, and toasty campfire woodsy notes. Really heavy toast in the wood here. Big and fruity on the tongue with lots of dark berry fruit, dried plum, and exotic spices. Really round, ripe tannins with big espresso and bitter cocoa notes to the finish. Excellent juice at $45. That's what we had to drink with Tal and Mixed Bag. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.